Welcome, everyone, to this NFL Draft Bible Spotlight Interview Edition featuring a free agency database special here. Marvin Jones has been running everything for us over at NFL Draft Bible for the database. Shout out to him, Rick Saratella. I am Ryan Roberts at Rise and Draft on Twitter running this interview today. I got Mr. Drake Sutton, who is a long snapper out of Eastern Michigan. So, Drake, real quick, man, again, appreciate you taking some time today. And if you want to just introduce yourself to the folks, feel free now.
Yeah, sure. Anytime, man. So, like you said, I'm Drake Sutton. I'm originally from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, which is a little village right outside of Milwaukee. Played 3 years at Eastern Michigan. And then, yeah, I mean, that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
I love it. That's a great introduction. So, like you said, Drake, obviously 3 years as the primary long snapper. I know Eastern Michigan has been producing some talent. You know, I talked to Mr. Calhoun this past year. I talked to Max Crosby coming out 2 years ago. So There's been a ton of talent, man. So just talk to me real quick about Eastern Michigan in general, why they were ultimately the best fit for you, and maybe just a couple of your favorite memories, part of the program there.
Sure. So, honestly, reason why it was the best fit is just because of the family that Coach Creighton created there. When I came in as a freshman, it was just like I was one of the guys. It wasn't like, oh, this is this little rookie or this fresh guy coming in and fresh meat pretty much and whatnot. Like, I was just part of the family, and that was probably the coolest part, coming from a kid from Wisconsin, small town kid from Wisconsin who didn't really know anybody coming in. So that was probably the biggest thing that just that was like appetizing to me to go to Eastern Michigan. And I mean, it's D1 football, which you can't really pass up if you have a love for football at all.
Right.
But probably, let's see, a few favorite moments. I'd have to say this past year was definitely one of them. Like, just the entire year was awesome. It, like, everybody says you'll remember your senior year the most, but it just going through it and having the memories with the specialists, Jake Julian, Chad Ryland, Vinny Pateri, and all the other guys. It was just something that I'll never forget for sure. But I guess two little pinpoints was definitely the Camila Bowl, my redshirt junior year, and then this last year, the Quick Lane Bowl. Obviously, neither of them we won, unfortunately, in kind of heartbreaking fashion. But just the fact that we kind of overcame everything that that people doubted us for. Forget.
Oh, sorry, Jake. You just broke up on my end. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no worries, man. We all good now?
Yep. Yeah. Can you just take it up? I'm gonna have to edit this a little bit. You start talking about the Camila Bowl if you want to start there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Camila Bowl, and then did I say the Quick Lane Bowl?
You did, yes.
Okay. So yeah, so those two bowls, and the Camila Bowl. It was just so awesome to go down to Montgomery and kind of experience everything that they had to offer and see the rich history that is down there and whatnot. So seeing all that, as well as just being with your brothers on the team and whatnot, and then being able to play football down there was awesome. And then obviously, like I said, with the Quick Lane Bowl, I think I saw on some website somewhere that it was like one of the top 10 like bowl games and whatnot. So I mean, just the fact that we got to play there and compete against such a great team like Pittsburgh and whatnot, it was just an overall great experience. And especially being in Ford Field, like that was probably the coolest experience ever too.
Oh, I'm sure. And I know I love asking this, man, because I'll be very honest. Every interview I've ever done, specialists are absolutely the best. You guys are cut from a different cloth. You're weirdos. I mean, I no offense to you, but just talk about
For
that.
sure, man.
Yeah. I know. I mean, we used to make fun of you kind of guys. You know, you're off to the side doing your warm-ups, doing your little kicking or whatever, snap and all that type of stuff. So
Just
I know
in our own world.
Yeah, I know, and it makes a great interview. I know you talked a little bit about just the camaraderie you talked about in the special teams unit. So talk to me about that relationship, man, because I know it's a little different than most people see, just the everyday in and out type of thing with them.
Oh, for sure, man. So definitely, I mean, in my personal opinion, I think the specialists are probably the closest group on a football field, just because, like you said, we spend the most time together. We're basically just kind of trying to fill time in practice, as bad as that sounds. 90% of it, we do try and make it applicable to football, so it's not all terrible. But, I mean, we just like you said, we spend 90% of practice just kind of sitting on the sidelines doing our own thing, which is kicking, punting, snapping, whatever we can figure out to do and whatnot. So, I mean, I definitely think that the group that I know at Eastern Michigan for sure, and talking to different snappers and specialists around the country, everybody's just close with one another. And it's kind of, I mean, it's kind of a brotherhood. Like if you're a specialist, there is no ill will between anybody. Like obviously between the hashes, you're kind of mortal enemies and whatnot. But after the game, we always make sure to go over, like dap each other up, ask each other how we're doing. And we're at the end of the day, we're each other's biggest fans too. Like if I know there are a few times where I hope Coach Creighton doesn't kill me for this, but one of the kickers kicks a bomb field goal and whatnot. We're like, dude, that's awesome. Cause I mean, we practice with them, we work with them all off season, and just to see them compete and do as well as we want them to is just awesome. Cause we know also it's reciprocated. It's not one-sided or anything like that.
Sure. Absolutely. And I know specialists too are like one of those things, right? There's camps, circuits that are just, like you said, kind of that close-knit kind of feeling. I feel like it's the most specific type of camps, right? Because you usually see like 7-on-7 tournaments or like different types of things. So I know a lot of that kind of, again, is like you said, is reciprocated because you guys are that close-knit community. For this offseason, man, because I know there's been, crazy, pro day cancellations, COVID-19. There's been a whole lot of stuff going on. For a specialist, for yourself specifically, what have you been doing just to constantly stay in shape and continue to work on your craft?
Well, to mainly stay in shape, I've been working out at Next Level as well as just the local YMCA, just trying to do what I can. And then when that all kind of got shut down with COVID and whatnot, I basically would run around the neighborhood as many times as I could and do push-ups and sit-ups until I got sick of them. So basically just did that to try and stay in shape the best I could. Thankfully, I was able to make it up to my high school field a few times and do some sprints there. And then just to stay like locked in with snapping and whatnot. It's kind of just been, I guess, the usual grind for me, like in off seasons and whatnot, just kind of taking a little bit of time off to kind of relax, get my mind right. And then after that, just hit the ground running and just focus on the really minute things. Cause like you said, it's a very specialized position. And in our minds, I know for me personally, like we want to snap on the hip, laces up. And if it's anything different than that, I know for me, I take personal offense to it and I try and figure out how I can fix that immediately and whatnot. So basically the off season is just focusing on the really, really minute details for me, at least.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people just think about the actual snap, but obviously there is blocking entailed. There is going down, making a play, quickness as a tackler in the open field. There's all types of different attributes to making a great snapper. So for you, just over the last couple of years, what do you think are some of the biggest improvements you've taken out, biggest improvements to your game? And maybe what are the biggest strengths overall for you?
I'd have to say biggest improvements have to be either in my blocking ability or in my, just like you said, the downfield kind of side-to-side agility ability. Because I know coming out of high school, that was kind of one thing I prided myself on, but going up to that D1 level, you kind of figure out where you lay on the spectrum, and I figured out I was a little further down on the spectrum than I thought. But I just kept on grinding at it, kept on working at it, and that's one thing that I really focused with at Next Level is that agility part of things. And that like kind of inline speed and everything like that. And I'd have to say that has kind of grown to be one of my strengths in the football aspect of things. I know I'm very consistent. And then also, like I said, I feel like I'm very agile from sideline to sideline. I can move pretty easy. And then also blocking comes very naturally to me.
Mm-hmm. And I know it's a crazy off season. We've talked about it a couple times already. So for you, outside of football real quick, let's talk about Drake Sutton, the person. If we're not watching you on a football field or in a gym working out, what are you doing to pass the time during COVID-19?
Man, we'd probably need a whole different show to list everything. I mean, I've been kind of everywhere. Me and my girlfriend went to this secluded beach. We went cliff diving for a little bit. I mean, like everybody my age, I play a little bit of Call of Duty every once in a while. Stay in contact with some of the Eastern boys that way as well. But other than that, man, I'm training. I'm basically just kind of focused on my career and kind of moving towards that part. because I have a degree in exercise science. So I want to open up my gym, hopefully. So right now I'm training a kid in a town right next to me. So I'm training him at the moment. So kind of trying to figure out how I can possibly better him as well as help myself out. So kind of trying to intertwine those two things. But then other than that, just kind of, I guess I'll read a Jocko Willink book every once in a while, a
Nice.
self-help book, kind of something to kind of keep me in line and straight up. And I know Jocko does a great job of it because he's kind of like a David Goggins in a way where he'll just make you feel like you're absolutely worthless. And you're like, yeah, my life ain't too bad. I can go do this little thing. So.
I love it. I love it, Drake. And last couple questions here. I know this has probably been a dream of yours for a very long time to play football on a professional level. So just talk to me a little bit about when that opportunity comes, when you sign that contract, just what type of blessing that would be overall for you.
Oh man, it'd be the biggest blessing. Like you said, this has literally been a dream of mine ever since, as long as I can remember. I don't even remember an age. It's been a dream as long as I can remember because ever since I was young, me and my family would be sitting watching Packer games, just watching Brett Favre kind of gunsling around and whatnot, and even Aaron Rodgers and everything. And growing up, I was a huge Tom Brady fan just because of all the adversity that he went through and the way he was able to overcome it and become the GOAT that he is today. So I mean, ideally in those days, I would have loved to be a quarterback, wide receiver, something a little more flashy than a long snapper. But I mean, at this time, like by any means necessary, it'll be a huge blessing. And the fact that I'll be able to live out a childhood dream would be just insane.
And then the last question I have for you, for any organization that's listening, any coaching staff, evaluator, whatever it might be, NFL, CFL, whatever the league that they're coming from, when they are considering making Drake Sutton a part of their program, as a player, as a person, what type of person are they getting and what type of player are they getting ultimately in you?
Type of person they're getting is definitely a hard worker that will do anything necessary to satisfy the coaches or what they need of me. A definite leader who will push anybody in the same room as him or everybody on the team around him, and just drives to be better every single day. Like one of my mentors and idol, Luke Rhodes, who's the Colts long snapper at the moment. He always talks about just getting 1% better every single day, and that's something I kind of adopted and I've tried to emulate throughout my life and whatnot, and then also pass on to other people. So not only getting myself better, but trying to get everybody around me better, because I know at the end of the day, that's what completes a team, and that's what makes a team that's what takes a team from good to great.
Absolutely. I love the Luke Rhodes mention as well. Obviously, he was a great linebacker, William & Mary, and he's been working his ass off to be one of the best long snappers in the NFL as well. So
yeah, for sure. That guy is insane.
He is, absolutely, 100%. So, again, Mr. Drake Sutton, long snapper, free agent out of Eastern Michigan, Ryan Roberts, Rise and Draft on Twitter, part of this NFL Draft Bible free agency spotlight interview. Drake, again, man, appreciate you taking some time. Appreciate us getting connected and just hearing a little bit into your story, man.
Yeah, anytime, man. Thanks for the call. It's been an honor talking to you.